Welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And today we are on A Course in Miracles, Chapter 2, Part 4, and Lesson number 11. So let's get started. Part 4 is called Healing as Release from Fear, and it's really interesting and a powerful principle in that it's discussing how there's no way for us to heal physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically, however you want to look at it. We can't heal while we're living in fear and while we're living in that really negative, limiting, scarcity mindset and that place of energy. So here it says, all healing is essentially the release from fear. To undertake this, you cannot be fearful yourself. And I really like this because it's saying that healing is the result of doing the work. So when you do the work on yourself, you're finding, we've talked about miracles, the miracle is the means, it's kind of like the channel and the way, and the healing is the result of what you're going to end up with at the end. So it says that sickness or not right-mindedness is the result of level confusion because it always entails the belief that what is amiss on one level can adversely affect another. So it's saying this level confusion where you are thinking that one thing is going to affect another, and you've got all these levels and pieces and tiers kind of mixed up, and realizing that only the mind is capable of error. So the mind in its power and what it believes in is capable of error. The body itself isn't capable of error. The body is made perfectly. It's made with all of its healing abilities. It knows how to regulate, how to maintain, how to survive. But it's our minds and our beliefs and what we think is possible, what we give our energy to, all of these different things. The toxic environment that we may be creating in our mind is what's going to create a physical response because the mind connects to the body and tells the body. It sends the signals to the body. The body itself has it cannot act wrongly. Its only actions are due to a misthought. So that's where all this work around thoughts and beliefs is so important, because maybe you've noticed this before. I mean, I notice it because I actually have a headache right now. And when you have a headache or something, if you think about it and you think about the headache, or say you hurt your wrist and you're thinking about your wrist, your thinking about it is actually sending messages to the body saying, oh no, I hurt my wrist, or oh no, I have a headache. And it's triggering more, which is actually creating more pain, and you create more awareness around your injury or your headache, right? So I practice this a lot because I notice how if I have headaches and I'm focusing on it, they're getting so much worse. Whereas if I continue to think about something different and I think about something happy, or even though I have a headache, I force myself to smile and I try to feel really positive, I notice that the attention and energy is leaving from the headache, and I actually am feeling better and I am focusing on things around me a lot more. So the mind-body connection is really powerful, and this healing and everything really comes from realizing that the body reacts to the thoughts. So whatever you're thinking is what you're gonna get. So physical illness itself, it's talking about how the body, like everything is resting on the magic of a belief and what we believe is possible. And this is another huge topic that I love about people who have holistically healed from cancer, from really strong autoimmune diseases, or different physical ailments, And they've done so in believing, or even after surgeries, they've done so in believing and using the power of their mind to tell themselves that they're healthy, everything's working properly, focusing really on the positive, and their body actually responds to those thoughts and to that mindset. And there are countless studies. Dr. Joe Dispenza is an amazing one to go to about that, and I love all of his stuff, but he really talks about that as well, the power of the mind and the belief in what we're creating. So it really still comes down to the mind. And the learning devices, it's basically saying the body is a learning device. So the body can't be at fault, it's just learning and reacting from the mind. So it comes from a faulty mind and a faulty habitual programmed way of thinking that creates that link up to the learning device, which is the body, and the body will create stress or dis-ease or different kind of things like that physically, but it all starts from up here. And another part it really talks about is just the fear and the fact that increasing fear or negativity is going to decrease the miracles or the healing potential. And so when you have the doubts or the fear and you're really just believing it's not going to work, that's what you're going to get. Whereas if you switch that, if you can try to bring yourself into a more positive state, even if you have an illness or something going on, but you're shifting your mindset into that state, you're going to notice it physically showing up for you as well. And it also says here that the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed, and it will inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver, meaning that the miracle, to attain its full efficiency, must be expressed in a language that the recipient can understand without fear. So the miracle that comes to me is going to be expressed in a way that I can understand it, and it's going to show up in a way where I'm open and ready and I can comprehend it, whereas a miracle to you might show up in a different way, might be expressed in a different way, because it's matching us where we are. So it's all about understanding that it's not one true right or one true wrong. There's no one thing. There's a lot of flexibility, and it shows up according to you specifically and what you're available for and what you believe in. So with that said, let's get to the lesson for today. So lesson 11 is another great one, and it is, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And for this one, you are recommended to close your eyes and take a deep breath, and then just practice repeating this to yourself. So my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And you can repeat that again. And then you can open your eyes and you can look around calmly. No panic or anything here. But looking around at the room and seeing what you see and what comes up for you. And what are your feelings about this? What are you noticing? Do things look a little bit different? Do they look maybe a little bit less special? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Maybe you're also looking around and going like, oh wow, I didn't notice this about something over there, or that's actually way prettier than I remember it being. Or so maybe these meaningless thoughts are showing you a meaningless world is actually clicking for you to see more meaning, and maybe you're realizing how meaningless it had been before because of the way you were looking. Maybe now you've got that shift in perspective to a more positive place where you're able to see the beauty in all of these things around you more than you were before. So give that a try. You can do that a few times throughout the day, and just remember, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world, and realize what that means to you, how that shows up in your life and in what you see around you, whether it brings you down to really see things negative and limiting, or whether it's making you rise up and go, wow, there's actually is a lot of meaning but I just never saw it before because of how my thoughts were working. So you can let me know in the comments which one you notice or what you feel from doing this lesson, and I will see you tomorrow.